Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends. Hello, operator. The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hello and welcome to the annual episode of the New York Knicks. Oh no, the Brink of Sanity show. Oh my god, I'm so used to doing the other show. I forgot we actually still had the Brink
That's
of
because
Sanity.
Shay just got totally wasted right before.
That wasn't even planned. It's the Brink of Sanity show that we're doing, not the New York Knicks podcast.
The brink of sanity.
That was Mark, and the doc is here.
Hey, everyone.
So we're actually doing a show for the first time in about 9 months.
I probably
Yes.
was on that show. I think I did a show
You,
9 months
you
ago.
probably were. So thank you for everybody who's been anxiously waiting for 9 months.
Who's that?
Yes,
Was-
both of
that's
you
an
out
actual
there.
person?
There was one guy, yeah.
Okay.
One guy.
Okay, so what is going on? What do you guys want to talk about today?
I've been working on a new concept album. That's why we haven't had an episode, because I've been working on a concept album.
So we always talk about how before the show we always shoot the crap and shoot the shit. I guess we can curse in the show. We shoot the shit, and like we think we're interesting and funny, and then we start the show and we go right to dead air and not funny. What the hell are you talking about, Jay?
Yeah, what?
That was the least funny thing you could have ever said.
No, it's my new idea. You know how like every song is like a love song about the most beautiful woman in the world, and like, oh, she's so gorgeous and blah blah blah. So I want to work on an album that's like more realistic and toned down.
You have an example, or are you just like?
Yeah, like the first track is gonna be your face is kind of decent and your butt's okay too. And you know it's like for the more realistic people.
What about like
Like,
I don't have to be
I'm
totally wasted?
I'm settling.
Yeah, exactly. Or you know like
I don't
they're
have to
all-
be totally wasted to spend time with you.
yeah, so something like that. Like all these songs.
Or
like,
I'm old and I want to have a kid, so let's split our lives together.
yeah, the clock is ticking.
I'm too
and
old to be picky.
My ovaries are drying up soon, and you know it's just it's a good time in the economy to have a kid. So.
Oh wait, no, I'm too old to be picky, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Baby is not what I'm calling you. I am telling you we're having a baby. A lot of these songs are
Fly at
also
the band tells me that you're for me.
a lot of these songs are also like, oh, I'll climb the highest mountain and I'll swim across the seas and all that crap. So I want to make the second side of the album.
I
just-
want to know what love is. I want you to show me, Jay.
Well,
Did I tell you I saw Foreigner in concert?
oh, was that after the Mets game?
I went to the Mets game and they had Foreigner played. It was pretty freaking awesome.
Well, you managed to bring baseball into the show in the first 3 minutes.
The first few minutes, watched the Mets play an abysmal game, but then Foreigner played and it was awesome. They played 9 songs. It was their only 9 songs. I think they played only 9 songs. That's the only songs they'd actually written. But it was fantastic. Everyone knew the song was great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now I got that song stuck in my head. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. Well, I'm Doc. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
What do you think
Isn't
of
that
this
the
one?
greatest? Is it the greatest song you like ever written? Can you imagine like saying someone going, "I want to know what love is. I want you to show me."
With your
And she gets
mouth
out like a dry erase board and starts drawing.
through your butt.
Oh, here you go. Oh, I didn't. Oh, that makes sense now. That equate. Okay, that's love. Okay, I got it.
I got a title for your album. I think I can tolerate you.
Yeah.
I can tolerate you.
That's so romantic.
How about this one? I would ride the subway if you let me feel your boobs.
So you're. I don't really understand the second side of your album. You're just going to be creepy.
No, it's things you would realistically do to get some play. Like, you're not going to climb the highest mountain. Let's be real.
Right.
But you'll put the toilet seat down.
I would probably put the toilet seat down and try not to pee on your floor. So something like that.
I will get out of bed to fart.
Yeah, I'll wash my hands before filling you up. Or
I may brush my teeth before making out.
yeah, I'll brush my teeth or use mouthwash. Probably not both, because you're really not worth it that much. Or I'll put on my good shirt, the one I haven't worn 3 times without washing. Something like that.
I'll wear my pair of underwear that I also haven't washed the last 3 times.
Right. I'll stay at home if you're coming over, but I'm not going to make an effort to go over there.
And I may not even stay at home.
Yeah, I may not be home. You can wait for me. Wait on the stoop.
You're really just taking a chance.
If you're still sitting on the stoop when I get home drunk, I'll let you in to have sex with you, baby. I think this
My
can
love.
work. Yeah, now we just need some beats in the background.
All these titles are awesome. We just have to add like the thing.
Or
at the
just
end that
take
makes it
every
romantic.
love song and replace the word love with kind of like.
Yeah.
That would be a good way. Like,
And anything that says beautiful, put in like fairly.
and I will always kind of like you.
No, not hideous. Instead of beautiful, not hideous.
Sort of not hideous.
Well, just basically take every like love song and just replace the major words in the song with antonyms. I will always hate you.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, this isn't a hate album. This is just a more realistic love album.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want these people turned off. You're still going to, this is still going to be an album for getting it on. It's just more realistic. We don't want to put false expectations into people's
Yeah,
heads.
because normal love songs, I mean, they're not realistic. I mean, real love's not like that.
No, it's not even close to like that. So, anyway, what have you guys been up
Anyway,
to?
here's something that annoys me.
Okay.
I always like to talk about things that annoy me. So I was, everyone has Facebook, obviously. When you
what's
read
that?
on people's status updates, and people have the dumb things like, Bob just ate chicken today, or
And here's a picture of it.
here's a picture of the chicken I ate.
Oh, that's what
Here's,
chicken looks like?
Yeah.
Here's where I bought the chicken from. You can like that place.
I'm not gonna like it unless there's photographic evidence it really happened.
I was going to buy chicken the other day, but then I forgot what it looked like. But thank God I could see on Facebook.
Yeah.
So here's the status update lately that I've been really annoyed by.
Okay.
Let me find this something on this person's page I went to high school with, and here's
What's their first
here's-
and last name?
And their home address, please.
Boy, do I have a big decision to make.
Oh,
That's the
the
status update.
the
Status
Wait,
update is,
what was
boy,
it?
I have a big decision to make.
What was the rest of it?
no, it's the
That's
teaser. People do that. The teaser's like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, like got a new job. What the fucking new job? What's your big decision, asshole? Get some friends to talk about, or just call your friends. This is the dumbest thing. And everyone like also read down his thing. It says like it's like question mark. Hi stranger. Do tell. Pray for wisdom. Move. You can always go back. Need advice?
Oh my god, they all got
XOXO
roped into it.
stay. I hope you have a good choices. You only live once. The only thing more annoying than his actual freaking comment is that people's responses.
Yeah.
Just, boy, do I have a big decision. If you're gonna put that, you really should have an amazing decision. Boy, do I have a big decision, and this guy gets to decide whether we invade Syria.
Your decision's
That
like,
would be an appropriate. Boy, do I have a big decision to make.
it's like wake up and go to work or kill myself.
And nobody says anything, and then there's just a big explosion the next day. It's like, oh, I
And
should have
ne-
commented.
And he never responds on here. What his big decision is to make, which is I don't care. But why the fuck do you post that in the first place? I had a friend someone who was moving, and he posted like, moving, got a new job, and then one post like it was someone I didn't know that well.
People
but,
do that all the time.
Didn't post where he was moving for a long. Why do you post these teasers? You're not a fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait for the sequel.
Coming this summer, I make a big decision.
Coming this summer, blocked friend.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, the when I had Peter on the show, we had a running bit where we read terrible status updates from one of my friends,
Yeah.
and I hid her. And what happened is, while I hid her, she found out her husband was having an affair and posted text messages with the lady, and I missed all of it.
Wow.
And so now I unhid her, and it's back to like, here's a picture of my stupid kid, and here's what I had for lunch, and it's like I missed like the one moment that it was just amazing stuff. I'm very upset about that.
The other one that drives me crazy. The other one, there's some guy I went to high school with also. I don't know why I'm focusing in high school. Who's like a Christian rapper.
Oh, good. The two greatest things put together.
And his status updates are always like, I'll read you some status updates from him.
If he raps about baseball, it'd be all my favorite things. In one
I
package.
can't seem to actually find his rapping on here, but apparently he's a signed artist and like performs professionally. It says, "For me to live is Christ and to die again."
I hate him.
Yeah, you ate them right away.
Try it. Tell him to try
Since
it.
I'm not an actual father, I figured the most appropriate way to spend the rest of the day is writing a record to my godson.
Writing a record?
To my godson. Spending Father's Day afternoon
does that
watching
even
golf
mean?
with
I don't know.
Crazy Cat. Since sitting in traffic in the Harlem River Drive and watching some kids play baseball in the Harlem Little. Where's the other word? Yeah, every day it's always like a Bible quote that's on there.
I don't have many.
Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you have a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you.
Oh, great.
I never understand the whole idea why they have to quote the Bible all the time, these crazy people. And I don't know who is like, here's the Bible quotes and goes, oh, you know that religion I don't really believe in? Well, they give a quote from it, so I'm down now.
Yeah, there was somebody in the subway like screaming Bible quotes in people's faces, and I'm like, you know what? You've done it. You've changed my lifelong views by your crazy screaming. In my
People
face.
think like the Bible justifies whatever crazy thoughts they have. It's like
What do you think a Christian rapper makes?
Terrible. Other than terrible music.
Yeah, you know, that's the other thing that was like driving. I'm like, is this guy making a lot of money from being like this giant fraud that raps?
No, he's not. He's making less than minimum wage.
I don't know. It doesn't say here that he has another profession besides being a Bible thumper.
he's also hungry all the time.
Yeah, I really, really doubt that he's making a lot of money off of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it weird. I don't, he was used to. I didn't know him that well, but he seemed like a normal guy in high school, and now he's gone off the deep end.
We had a couple of those people.
Yeah. There's seems to be a lot more of those lately.
Yeah, Doc. So Doc, what's new? I haven't talked to you / seen you since the last show.
Not much. Yesterday's project was I got a juicer, so my life's exciting.
Juicing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
What do you made so far?
it's a lot of fun. I've made way too much of everything because I had no idea like how much juice comes out of what.
You're like, got a gallon of celery juice.
Yeah,
Who
apparently.
wants celery juice? Knocking on the neighbor. Hey, girl, I always stare on the elevator.
Do you like celery
I
juice?
made a lot of celery juice.
Like
you wanna
gallons.
Come over? And I'm only coming over because like I didn't realize making like 8 stalks of celery equals a gallon. So I don't know. I mean, I thought it was going to be a little juice. I don't really know. Anyhow,
it's a
you wanna
sign
come
from
over to my
God.
place and touch me?
I'm cool. No, it's you know, it's fun, but then I'm like, I don't think I ever want to do this again.
Yeah, I think a juicer is something that you make probably 10 gallons of juice within the first week or so,
Yeah.
and make a gallon for the next 8 years.
It's like once you juice everything once, you're like, okay, I get it. That's what that tastes like in liquid form.
Do you is it annoying to clean? Because I've heard they were really annoying to clean.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I'm just trying to like people do this every day. I don't know how you do it every day. It's like it takes at
Why?
least,
Well, why clean it?
Well, how long does it take?
I don't know, at least half an hour, and I was going pretty fast.
That's not that bad.
Wait, it takes
That
a
sounds-
half hour to make.
No, to clean.
yeah,
Wait,
because
which one?
it's got like 8 parts to it.
Well, that
Uh,
sounds
What's
like
the
the
process?
worst.
How long does it take to actually make the juice?
Well, it depends. I mean, you know, you start. I mean, it doesn't take that long. You know, you just
Like
start
what?
the.
Like, how long?
Like 8 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, you start the motor and you put the food through. It really. I mean, it's more about the plant. Like, you know, make sure you. I like to peel everything. You know, obviously you want to not get all crap in it. So, you know, wash
What,
it. Like,
what are you putting in there that you have to peel? A banana? That takes a long time.
well, no, like carrots. I don't want to put like the outer layer. You know, of the carrot.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because it still
It's
gets
all dirty?
Yeah, it's dirty. It
You
gets,
wash it.
Oh, come on, be a man.
No,
Why?
but it
So
actually
you spend all the time peeling the carrot.
it doesn't take that. It's more the after stuff that takes.
Do you have to
more
quit your job because you're spending all day juicing?
No, it's really the cleaning that's really the time consuming. I mean, the rest of it you could just shove.
Well,
in
why do you
there.
have to clean it every day?
Because the stuff is like it's like gel. Like it once you let it dry, it probably like never comes out, and then it gets in the way. Probably, I'm assuming.
So maybe like one day a month you spend like the entire day juicing, and then you have a couple gallons in the refrigerator.
Yeah, but the whole concept is that I mean I think like you're supposed to have it like pretty quickly after you make it, or the benefit of it, goes like the vitamins and stuff kind of break down. That's what I was told. I mean,
They go away like.
I mean, I think
carbonation?
like you should probably use it all in a couple days to a week or so.
I can say maybe it goes bad, but like they just disappear.
Vitamins like just go somewhere.
Well, I mean, they're proteins. Proteins break down, eventually. So.
Ooh, Doc knows something. You're a lot smarter than us.
Yeah, this is why you're the doc.
But yeah, I think I don't know how people do it every day because it's like, I mean, I think you have to clean it, pretty much after you use it, or it's like you're gonna use the thing for like 2 weeks and then you're gonna have to buy a new one.
So you go into work, you're like, sorry, I was 3.5 hours late to work today, but I made a cup of carrot juice.
I'll tell you the only people in America who do it every day. They're called rich people's servants.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. No one else juices every day.
If I won the lotto, I would hire a juice maker.
Yeah, your job is juicer.
Yeah.
That would be the worst lotto commercial ever. You'd be like, make me juice. Got it. And the guy's just juicing. You're like, and they're like, what's the lotto quote?
Hey, you never know.
Hey, you never know. I got a juicer. Yeah.
You're like, make me carrot juice. Now wash the juicer. Hey, you never know.
It's like I got a juicer. You mean like $100 juicer? No, that guy makes me juice.
Maybe you can go sell the pulp and buy a lottery
And then the
ticket.
quote will be that kind of rich. You know, the new ones they do like they show like a guy like going on a plane, but it's not like instead of going first class, it's his own plane. They go that kind of rich. So Jay's would be that kind of rich, and you have some Mexican guy making juice for him.
It's a juicer and a dishwasher.
It's like the most mediocre way you could spend like.
And by juicer, he means like the guy is actually squeezing it with his bare hands.
Yeah.
Or just like this, like you won so much money and you're spending it in like the lamest possible way.
No, they show a juicer and then they go that, and then they show like the deluxe juicer. They're like, no, that kind of rich.
It's just that kind of rich, and your juicer has like it gets satellite TV.
Yeah, it like squeezes the pulp out.
It's not actually a machine. It's just some guy from the gym that just squeezes in his hand till it, like the juice comes out.
It's a guy that lives in Greece who flies in with a Greek fruit every day and makes it for you. That kind of rich. I fly a guy in from Greece every day.
We should make our whole. Yeah, that's a good idea. I want to make
A whole series of mediocre lottery commercials.
Yes, yes.
That kind, like it'd be that kind of rich, and you're putting on a button-down shirt. You're like, no, it's pretty solid, like Egyptian cotton. That kind of rich.
My sheets are like 1,500 thread count.
Yeah. It's that kind of rich, and you're walking out of Whole Foods with a full bag of groceries.
That place is so ridiculous. It's like things that are like $2 normally are like $15. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
it's healthy, but then I'll have no money.
We didn't use pesticides in that $12 orange.
Yeah, like
Good.
they have cartons of eggs that are like $8. I'm like, this is real. I mean, they're actually $8. So who the hell buys a carton of eggs for $8?
it's like they might be twice the price, but at least they're half the size.
I seriously walk around Whole Foods sometimes being like, I wonder what it would be like to be rich enough to not to care if I bought these items.
Exactly.
I make a modest living, but some of these items I could never dream of purchasing and making rent.
It just seems way too frivolous.
Or just too frivolous. It just seems such an insane amount of frivolous to like to buy like the
$12 olives.
Do you guys like get to the, you go to like buy a certain thing, right? And then there's like the $1 normal grocery, like the Pathmark version.
Yeah.
And then there's like the $2 slightly less awful organic whatever, and then there's like a $5 version, and then there's like a $10 version, and I'm just like looking at it and my brain's about to explode because I don't know how to like decide.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like they have like the you walk in the store and then like there's Rice Krispies with like the little the elves or whatever they are.
Yeah, and then they're
all
like
bright and
Mike's
happy.
Krispies.
And next to it's like the A&P Rice Krispies with like a homeless kid peeing on them. And you're like, oh, should I be really cheap and buy the dollar brand of Rice Krispies? But the ones with the Keebler elves on it, they're like $4. Oh, I don't know. I don't want people to come to my house and think I can't afford the $4 elves.
And one of them doesn't even come in a box. It's just a sack of Rice
Yeah.
Krispies.
It comes in just a bag. They don't give you the box. And you're like, well, I'm not going to just buy a bag of cereal. That's ridiculous. But then when you buy a box of cereal, all the box is it's a cardboard box with that bag in there. It's like you get a carrying
Exactly.
case for the extra money.
But it's like you've been eating or like getting groceries a certain way, your whole life, and you're like, well, I'm not dead, so to pay like 7 times as much for like the same exact thing just doesn't make any sense.
Well, but it was a certain amount of. I agree with that in the sense of like there's always like, should I buy the generic version or the regular version?
Right,
Like you feel like, am I being cheap when I'm buying the generic version of like cream cheese?
But there's
And, like,
there's too many levels now. There's the generic cheap version, and there's like the normal one, and then there's like 7 more levels on it.
Most of the time, the generic version is the
it's
same.
generic, cheap, and then there's organic, and then there's what's the new thing that everyone
super
has to
organic.
have free of?
It's like
what's with the
farm,
bread
like,
thing?
Grass fed,
free roams.
chemical free. There's all these different like designations, and they probably all mean nothing. They're probably all coming from the same place anyway.
The
You're the
gen-
doc. Do they mean that something? Like, tell me. I have no
Well,
idea.
I mean, being a doctor, I mean, it has more to do with like the factories these places are coming from, and like the government's like restriction on people calling things a certain thing. Like, can anyone just call something organic? Like, are there rules? I don't know.
I think there are
Good
some
question.
set like a certification, and being organic. The definition of organic with the American government includes pesticides. It's just
Right.
certain pesticides in a certain amount. So you're not actually getting a pesticide free. You're just getting less pesticide.
Yeah, and then they'll have the organic pesticide free, which is like that's the one that's usually on the higher tier.
but the
And
generic is
isn't,
usually
isn't the whole point of inventing pesticides in the first place so we can all eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, because before pesticides, most of us just starved. We couldn't make enough food. So the whole point was like it was supposed to be beneficial, but then it goes.
So when you don't have pesticides, you just have some guy with a fly swatter. he's just
Yeah.
like, he's like, go away.
he has a
bugs."
megaphone and he shouts at the flies.
Or whatever.
Back off, bee!
Yeah.
And then Jay's in the back room being like, "That's my pesticide." Yeah, that kind of rich.
Yeah, I have a question. Is it not possible to make a bag of cereal that isn't so loud you wake up everyone in the building opening up the cereal? It's like, hey, neighbor, I really wanted you to know I'm eating cereal this morning.
You want stealth wrapping.
Yeah, I tried to make a bowl of cereal
That's
the other
probably
day.
double.
And, like,
Someone banged on your wall.
I literally woke up my
With the
girlfriend. It was
Cheerios,
so loud.
asshole.
Yeah, it's so loud. Why is it so loud?
You didn't buy the stealth version.
That's the $9? Is that what the $9 one is?
Maybe.
Is it, you get like the loud plastic bag, and then for $2 you get the loud plastic bag with the cardboard box over it, and then $9 it's like a silent stealth cereal.
Yeah, I want to get the premium version. The premium version is the one that says, "Don't be an asshole and wake up the neighbors with my tricks." Here's a question. I found I try to eat healthy,
Yeah,
and so I find myself constantly Googling foods to see is this healthy or not.
and every
I-
answer is no.
I found the answer is always no, or it's always no matter what the food is. There's always someone being like, I'm like, and I just put things in for fun because I just want to see how ridiculous it is. I'm like, is a banana healthy? And people are like, bananas are good for you, and then like, bananas are bad for you. Too much sugar, you could die from bananas. I know a person that got fat from bananas. I'm
Yeah.
like,
This is the problem with the internet. Anyone can post on the internet, and most people don't know what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
my cousin got diabetes from bananas, and now he has 1 foot.
well, yeah, and I'm telling someone about this, and the person's like, yeah, my doctor said I should stay away from fruit when I was trying to lose weight. I'm like, I've never met a fat person I never met anyone got fat from fruit.
No.
That's-
I mean,
in the history
I mean,
of time, no one
Yeah.
no one's ever said, "Oh, Debbie, how'd you get off? How'd you look like you gained 20 pounds?" Yeah, but hitting the cantaloupe really hard.
So the real answer is that fruit has sugar in it, but it's nothing like the condensed form of unhealthy sugar that we normally eat. So
Right, that
fruit
sounds
ends
like
up-
the worst doctor ever.
yeah. So
Because
fruit,
I also read that like fructose is really bad for you. I'm like, what kind of sugar is in fruit? Probably fructose.
because if fruit didn't have sugar, you would never eat it. I mean, it has to have something in it, and it has a little bit, but
Like vegetables,
yeah.
I never eat those.
I mean, vegetables have some stuff in it. I mean, they have starch and stuff. So, but it really is like, you can't just be like, oh, this has sugar in it. It's not good for you. I mean, we live on sugar. We need it. But like the stuff we normally eat has like condensed, like factory produced, enriched, sugar that is way more than we ever need,
Well, I lose my mind. One thing I like to make, I like to take one mango and a banana, put it in the blender. I use
That's
a blender,
fine.
not a juicer. I use a blender, not a juicer, because I'm in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
By the way, blender, takes 12 seconds to clean. You might want to get that instead.
No, I have that too.
What's the difference between a blender and a juicer?
Well, the thing is, certain
A
things,
blender and juicer? Well, the name, Jay.
certain things like don't work well with just a blender. Like if you blend like vegetables, you'll just get like chopped vegetables.
Right. If you ever like, damn it, I can't
yeah.
turn this celery into juice, get a juicer.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like for bananas, blender is fine.
But actually, we were at some point a long while back when my son was like maybe like 6 months. He was having some like whatever it was. He was having some like constipation issues, and we were trying to give him like apple juice, raw apple juice, because it was they say raw apple juice makes you poop basically. And we just kind of trying to. I tried to just make some juice, and my in-laws heard about it, and they were like, "We got to get you a juicer." And we're like, "We're really just not. We just made it. We just want him to poop. We're not really gonna make him juice very often." And so he got us this juicer, and now basically the unopened juicer just sits in our corner of our kitchen for the last year and a half.
That's what happens when you don't listen to gift requests.
Yeah.
We're like, we don't need one. Here, we got one for you.
Yeah, but I want you to have one. I don't care what you want. I'm getting this gift, and it's all about me.
Yeah.
So-
The thing is, if you ever want to like buy something like that, make sure you're dedicated to actually using it, because otherwise it's really just a waste of space and money.
It just takes up our. It just sits in our corner. We haven't even opened it yet. Maybe we'll open it for the second child. I don't know. So the other thing about juice, have you noticed there's a campaign on like all like Subways now? They're saying like, don't give your kid juice. You're just going to destroy their teeth and make them fat.
I
you guys
did not
notice it?
see that. No, my subway stop is too busy covered with posters congratulating themselves for doing things. They're like, our trains run on time. We spent $2 million on this poster to tell you that.
And we doubled your fares.
Yeah, you read this 4 times while you're waiting 25 minutes for the train to show up.
While you read this, your fares doubled.
Yeah, exactly. While you read this, one of our conductors took the wallet out of your pocket and stole your money.
And your phone.
While you read this, we raised your fare a quarter.
So anyway, what were you? What you
I don't
can't
know.
have juice?
You know, actually, what I actually want to mention. So I was trying to eat something healthier for breakfast. And I'm a big fan. I like cream of wheat, which sounds like I should be 85 eating that. Mm-hmm. And so I started Googling cream of wheat, and they're like, not enough fiber in that. Not that it's okay. It's like people are still. I'm like, it's fucking cream of wheat. Only 85-year-old people eat it. It must be healthy if they're alive that long.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Just eat what you want.
So basically, I can't figure out what to eat based on if I Google stuff. I'm just like, I have no idea what to eat, and then.
I mean, one of the things that made the most sense is anything that's artificial and lasts way longer than it should is probably not healthy for you, and anything that's on more of like the natural side is probably a healthier option. So if you can replace everything that's like in a can, artificial, lasts forever, with stuff
I
that's
got,
like
like-
natural, you'll probably be doing okay.
I went to the
I
supermarket.
get black beans in a can. Is that okay?
I mean,
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
You found the one example that works. I went to the supermarket and I got like rolls for a sandwich, like fresh baked rolls, and they got moldy in a day and a half. And I've had a loaf of Wonder Bread in the fridge for 6 weeks, and there's not one speck of mold on that. That doesn't seem right.
You should save that for a couple of years and sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
Not moldy bread. Not moldy old bread.
When I was living with the doc, he left a plastic bag in the fridge. I guess he had food in it, but then took the food out and left the plastic bag in it. So I took a picture of it and put it on eBay, saying "cold plastic bag." I said it's blue, it's plastic, and it's cold.
Did you sell it?
No, I got no bids.
Oh, because that story sucks. I put something on eBay and no one bought it. It's more, it flares you like, I got $10 for it.
I'm actually kind of surprised nobody bought it because I've seen silly stuff like that gets bids just because people like bidding on funny things.
You should just always, anything that gets mold on it, you should put it on eBay.
Moldy plastic bag.
You're usually like, moldy bread, bought from the supermarket yesterday.
I don't know why it's moldy so quick. So I
promise
promise
it won't get any worse.
Or actually, I guarantee it'll get much worse by the time you get it.
I have this juicer and it has all crap on it, and it's only been used once.
Yeah. Crusty
I
vegetable
decided
crusted
just not to
juicer.
clean it.
Yeah, I just decided to sell it instead of cleaning it.
Used once, cleaned nonce.
Cleaned by you when you buy it.
Yeah. Cleaned in the future by purchaser.
Yet to be cleaned.
Vegetables
they should have,
included,
it should
but
be
they're already
Jay
juiced and
standing
stuff.
over a juicer. Go. I used this once, then dropping it in the garbage can, being like, "Yeah, that kind of rich."
You buy a new juicer every day.
Here's the other thing I hate on Facebook. Okay, I have something else I want to point out that I kind of drives me crazy. So when people post stories that are hilarious, but they don't do a simple Google search to find out that the hilarious story was made the fuck up. So there's someone I know that posted a story and said, Samsung pays Apple $1 billion sending 30 trucks full of 5-cent coins. And you're like, wow, I can't believe Samsung sent Apple $1 billion worth of coins to settle some judgment. That must have been hilarious. And the story talks about how like they weren't going to accept they sent over like 5 garbage trucks worth. You read, you're like, wow, that's great. Then you do a Google search and find out that story was made up, and the person that posted it is named Jay. Jay, why would you post that this morning? It's apparently this story's been around for like 2 years, and you just found it now, and you're like, oh, this is a good story.
I'm usually so careful about that, and I usually go to Snopes for everything, and I just didn't today. And I really feel like I should have been thrown off by the 5-cent coins instead of nickel.
Yeah, right. The best part is they say 5-cent coins, and you look at the picture, and all the coins in the picture are gold. And so
that too.
that's why I Googled the story, because I was like, well, this makes no sense. Those look like pennies to begin with, not 5-cent coins that don't exist in America.
Well, I thought the picture was weird, but I figured they used like a stock photo because they weren't live at the scene.
You got had. I felt for a story.
You figured, hang on. You figured they just happened to have lying around, like they went to stockphoto.com and there was just a picture of someone pouring coins. That's just like a scene they thought people would buy.
Yeah, like Google Images, truck of coins.
They thought an inaccurate picture about coins would be good.
Yeah. If you don't have the real picture, just show a picture of coins.
Like the guy's like, okay, that's crazy that Samsung did that. Do we have any stories? Anyone on the scene? No one on the scene. Ooh, you know what? I found stock photo. They have this great picture, but it doesn't look like nickels. It looks like pennies.
I've actually
Just
seen
go with it and call it a 5-cent coin. People in America are idiots.
I've seen articles like that all the time. Actually, people do that.
It was translated from Spain, by the way.
I fell for a fake story like for a little while. Like it was about Bloomberg. He went to a restaurant and he had a slice of pizza, and then he ordered a second slice, and they told him he couldn't have it because of that. His all of his rules about soda and what.
Calorie count.
And basically started cursing at the waiter and like stormed out. And I thought it was real. I thought it could have happened.
It could have happened. That's the thing.
Then I went down to the comments and they're like, well, this whole website is like, it's kind of like an Onion kind of.
Yeah, website's actually the Onion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was actually the Onion. No, it was another one, but it was basically the Onion.
MadeUpNews.com has been inaccurate lately.
Yeah, I don't like where they're getting their stories from.
Wow, you mean Santa's leading in the mayoral race? This story's great. Fine. So I made fun of Jay.
I make one mistake. I post all this great stuff, and I make one mistake, and now it's. They
should have called Pacific Rim Transformers 4. This is Jay's good stuff he posts on a daily basis.
It's true. It's the same movie.
On your
There's
page.
so much going on. Oh, actually, you make fun of Gordon Ramsay's dwarf porn double found dead in a badger den.
Oh, he's totally calling you out now.
That's a great story.
Why
Why don't you read? No, read the headline for that.
Then you post some pictures.
No. Look, read that headline. Gordon Ramsay's dwarf porn double found dead in a badger den in Wales.
Is that a real story?
That is a real story, and that is amazing.
According to Snopes.com, you don't know how to use the internet. I don't know if that's real or not. Why leave Astoria? That's another headline from him. Okay, Carly Simon, I give up. Who is that song about? Jay's Facebook page is as entertaining as you can get. Oh, here we go. I'm at the laundromat and it started raining. The Weather Channel said no rain until 5 p.m. How can a channel solely dedicated to reporting the weather be so wrong about weather currently happening?
Yeah.
You should write for Justin Bieber.
Do you need an ambulance?
We should have Jay being like, I'm gonna put something on Twitter, and then Justin Bieber runs over and writes something for him, and be like, yeah, that kind of rich.
Do you need cheese with your wine?
Are we done making fun of me yet?
Enough Jay bashing.
Let's see what else we got.
We should just do
White
it.
House
We should do it
Down
more.
is coming out soon. I bet it's completely different from the Olympus Has Fallen.
Oh, he's still doing it.
Well, actually, I agree with you. Those look like the exact same movies with different actors.
They probably-
It's literally they had both the scripts out to like two different sets of like production companies, and it's like a reality show which see who produces the better movie.
Actually, the actors got confused and showed up to the opposite sets.
Yeah, they even have like the same type of actors. It's like, you know, Obama's president, so both presidents have to be black, and then we gotta have, you know, like the buff Shia LaBeouf guy.
One has Morgan Freeman, the other one has Samuel Jackson or something.
Oh, Jamie Foxx.
They're like. These are the only two black actors we know.
Yeah.
No one would believe Orlando Jones is president, and we're out of actors.
There's only 3 black actors, and one of them's doing one of those end of the world movies because there's
We're not sure
7
Wesley Snipes is out of jail yet, so we're stuck with Morgan Freeman.
There's 7 end of the world movies out this summer.
Do you know there's like a record number of probably terrible, but record number of blockbuster movies out this year? Apparently, there's like 23 movies that qualify as blockbuster movies.
Now, how do they define blockbuster?
Yeah, what
Because I haven't
qualifies a
seen
movie as a
any of these.
blockbuster?
I've done no research on this, but I read an article like a month ago.
So why don't you make it up? That's fine.
Yeah, we're gonna make it
Like-
up. Probably the amount of money they're spending. So probably like a $200 million or $100 million film qualifies as a blockbuster.
Like, is this a blockbuster episode? Like, can we just call it a blockbuster episode?
Yeah, I
well,
think we can.
Jay's gonna spend $100 million on our episode, and yes, and that would be that kind of rich.
I spent $10 on Captain Morgan, but I'm going to spend $100 million editing this podcast. So it'll be a blockbuster.
Yeah, so that kind of.
You've like
force-
never edited this podcast.
No, I never edit this podcast.
Wasn't there a thing? So we were talking about before the show how one of Jay's friends gets offended because like her husband does the show, will say things, and she'll call up and say,
I was gonna say it was
What?
me, but you kind of gave it away. It wasn't me.
"Yeah, it wasn't." Okay, so
You're not your own husband.
yeah, so
I don't have a husband.
our friend Randy, Jay's friend Randy, went to high school with, who'll never hear this.
he's just gonna name people now.
She'll never hear this. So she tells him to edit stuff out, and then he just doesn't edit the stuff out.
I wait an hour so she thinks I edited it out.
What does she ask you to edit out? What has her husband said?
I don't think anything really offensive. She just doesn't like the word retarded. And we may have done an entire skit just saying movie titles in a retarded voice.
Well, she works for an organization that has the word retarded in its title, right?
I think so. I think it's like people for retarded felons or something like that. I don't know.
You know,
No,
my-
she
my-
literally works for an organization that was named a long time ago that used the word retarded.
Yeah, it was in the 70s where you could be totally un-PC and it's totally
my
cool.
problem is that, like, you know, what you're supposed to say, mentally challenged. That doesn't make them sound better.
No, the same thing with like a midget. Like we want to be called little people. I'm like, I would rather be called a midget than a little
Yeah.
person.
There was some comedian who was talking about, and I thought it was such a brilliant bit. She's talking about how, she's like, I was waiting for my friend, and she showed up like a half hour late, and she goes, I'm retarded, sorry. And she's like, and she goes, yeah,
Wait,
you know,
I
I
can't
think people
laugh.
use the word retarded wrong. Like, why don't they ever use it like appropriately? Like, hey, I was at the grocery store, and the clerk smiled at me, so I proposed marriage. That would actually be retarded. I'm so retarded, I proposed marriage. That was kind of a funnier bit.
Jake, can you edit me laughing at retarded? Can you edit that out, please?
I can't do anyone other comedians' jokes. So.
I'm gonna edit Mark's delivery to make it a good delivery. for that show.
Okay. And then maybe me laughing will make sense then.
So maybe I'll just re-edit that whole scene. I'll put new laughs over your old laughs. Laughing hardier. I have a couple of like news stories and stuff if you guys want to talk
Yeah,
about
what's
any of
going
those.
on?
Yeah, what the hell's going on in the news? You're gonna talk about the. I bet your first news stories is not about the NSA wiretapping.
No, it's not about the NSA wiretap. I figured we did our last episode was a political episode.
Actually,
I tried to
wait,
stay
guys,
away from that.
don't say anything incriminating because they're listening to this.
Did you hear?
This is the only thing the government is not listening to.
Yeah, they're like, we're pretty safe here.
we're going to the government like, hey, why don't you guys just listen? No, totally. You could spy on us. We'll tell you when we're recording. We're actually going to mail the tape. We'll email the MP3 to you guys.
Actually, we may get terrorists coming to us, be like, you know, this is pretty safe. No one listens to this, so
Yeah, they use us as like the Al Qaeda network.
We're asking terrorists to call our show just so we can get more listeners from the American government.
Yeah, you're planting
we're
the
like,
bomb on 34th Street.
We got like 100 CIA agents that like doubled our listenership.
they don't even encrypt it. They just say it.
Yeah, there's like we're bombing 34th Street tomorrow. Thank you, Brigham Saturday.
No
We're
one listens
encouraging Al
to this.
Qaeda to announce their plans on breaking Sanity just to increase our ratings.
We're number one.
We're taking out the Brooklyn Bridge tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, guys, today. We appreciate it. Hopefully, your plan to kill a million, 100,000 people tomorrow doesn't go through. But
before you go, I'll let you plug your thing. What's your thing again? Oh yeah, bombing stuff.
I'll let you plug.
Yeah, best of luck with that.
I'll let you plug your terrorist attack. When is this going to be?
Yeah.
So, how did you get yourself involved in suicide bombing?
Where can people see your work? Oh yeah, in the middle of the city. Okay.
Those that have eyes left.
If people don't catch your suicide bombing act in Times Square later today, where can they see you? Oh, that's the only place.
Wait,
they
do we
so
have?
they're not around. They're never going to catch you.
Do we have
again.
a clip?
You're the worst performer ever.
Do we have a clip? Oh no, it hasn't happened yet. Okay. Well, we'll have a clip next week.
Oh no, it's totally safe. No one listens to this show.
Hey, that was a good tangent.
Yeah, I like that.
That's how we're gonna increase for you.
I don't even know how I'm going to follow it up, actually.
Like the story is not nearly funny.
Your story's gonna be terrible.
Oh, yeah. I don't even want
to
to...
be something along the lines of some woman living in Alabama. She threw a donut at a cop, and now she's doing time, or she like married her dog, or what
This
happened?
story was sunny today.
It's gonna be a terrible story.
Why do I do the show with you? All you do is harass me. All my other guests are, like, nice to me.
You have other guests.
I do have other... There's other episodes.
Tell me, what's the last time you did a show without one of us? 19.
Yeah, actually, I think I may have been the only other guest recently.
You do a lot of the shows. I'm just saying, there's a few. Anyway, episode 170 was without you, I believe.
What episode are we on?
178, but episode 170 was like 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, and was I on that?
I don't even know. I'm just making that up. I know Bri was
So
on.
you think
170.
Randy's gonna find out? So I have a question. Do you think Randy will find out that you talked about her in the show today?
This will be the one episode. Oh, Brink is Sanity's back. Let me see how they've been.
Wouldn't it be great if you were like, well, let's just test it out, and you said something, and then she's like, and she actually like sees it come up, and she's like, oh, I'm so excited to listen. This will be so much fun. I'm gonna play it in front of my parents.
I gotta say, I mean, this is kind of like a plug to the show because it's a podcast, but I kind of like podcasts in general. It's like, on any of these mobile devices, you just download it. You don't need a connection. And like when I'm on the subway, like I listen to podcasts, and it's actually kind of awesome. Like,
When you're supposed to plug things, you want to plug things that you're actually not doing at the moment. You're like, I'm appearing here, not you guys listen to the show you're listening to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on this show, but most of the time I'm just a listener. So
What podcast do you listen to?
Well, I listen to your guys' Nick's podcast, and then I like a lot of tech.
Nice.
I like a lot of tech stuff, so I listen to like tech gadget kind of stuff. And...
It is pretty. If you have if you're one of every American that has an iPhone or something like that, it's like pretty easy to listen to one.
Yeah.
I'm like the only person left in America that doesn't have one.
I was kind of.
I still find it annoying because I have to download it and put it on my MP3 player. But I lived in the 1980s. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was like a latecomer to the whole podcast thing, but it's pretty convenient.
It's catching on.
Yeah, to me, I don't know.
We keep getting contacted for the next one about people are trying to start radio network with podcasts, and they're like, "You're going to be a part of our radio network." We're like, "Oh, so increase our listenership by you."
Yeah, I don't know what is it. Yeah, hopefully
It'd be a good idea though, in the sense of like when you listen to regular radio, there's nothing on.
Yeah.
It'd be great if you could just if you said, "Hey, we're gonna take your podcast and put it on 98.7," that'd be awesome. But it's like put it on this random radio station we made up, which is just like playing 4 podcasts in a row and calling it a radio station.
What about that podcast who wanted to start a radio station? So they asked if we could have them on, and then they would put our show on live 2 days after we did our show, and then he wanted us to plug it.
Wait, how is it live if it's 2 days after?
Because he has like a radio show streaming, so he'd be like, "This show is streaming on my site Thursdays at 8." So like we would do our show on Monday, and then he'd be like, "Can you plug that you're on my station Thursday at 8?" And so we're like, "All right, well, you already downloaded our show through iTunes, but if you want to sit in front of the computer and listen live, you can go to this website and listen to a repeat of us."
Yeah.
Like it was just like the weirdest thing.
Yeah, podcasts live and podcast they're just not supposed to.
He wanted to make it
live.
like a radio station, which is fine, and he wanted to have us on there, which is fine. But then he wanted us also to do the plugging for his radio station, which is weird because there's no reason our listeners would want to listen to the show streaming through a website.
Right.
The idea was that we're supposed to, like, if you join a radio station, you're supposed to get, like, that'll increase your listenership by being part of it. He wanted to increase the listenership of his radio network by asking people that they are listeners to come over to his thing.
I mean,
The whole problem is that to make podcasts are convenient if you have like an iPhone or something like that, you can just hit play. But if you can do that, why would you listen to like a quote unquote radio station?
Right.
Podcast?
yeah, exactly. I mean, compared to the radio, like podcasts are just more convenient.
Well, podcasts are the whole reason there's no radio stations.
yeah, maybe.
Well, the radio sucks, but the whole point is that like radio is different. Radio is something you just turn on, like say in your car, and go from station to
Right.
station, and you're using it because you don't have the convenience of using the podcast.
Right.
So it's basically like, hey, like, why don't we show your YouTube show on my TV show?
Right. The only way it works is if it's live and you can interact with us, which we've done a few times.
I mean,
but,
there's a lot of podcasts like where like ESPN and stuff where they have the live show and then you can download it later as a podcast. Like
Well, yeah.
That's I like that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I do that too. I mean, well, not maybe ESPN.
No, I mean we've done that before too. I feel like we always have trouble when we try and do a live show. That makes sense. You do a live show, people can interact, and then anybody who misses it, they download it later. That's
Yeah, most people won't see it
on the
live,
podcast. They
but-
started talking about podcasting, and that's when I stopped listening.
It was so meta.
This is the worst thing ever.
Podcasts are over.
What's your news article? We're all dying to
yeah,
know.
let's
Is
go.
it? Hang on. I know it. Just Doc. Jay's next story is I got it ahead of time. AT&T pays Sony $1 billion.
I hate you.
With a 20-cent piece.
Mark's
of
never
coin.
coming back to the podcast.
Donald Duck is on the coin.
Scientists prove the Earth is square.
By the way, 2 episodes ago, you weren't on the podcast.
Oh, did you
2
know
episodes ago?
Santa?
Well, that was the one I found from New Year's from like
is
3
pl-
years ago.
Santa's playing for the Jets, according to this news article I saw. What's your article?
Did you know the name of Kim and Kanye's new kid? New kid. Their baby.
I was hoping never to find out, but why don't you tell us?
Who's Kim?
Kanye
Kim
West
Kardashian.
and Kim
Kim
Kardashian had a
So
kid,
they're
right?
together?
They're together for now. I mean, until like the finale
For
next
now,
season
it's
of our
like
show.
no one says, "Oh, they're married for life." It's they're married. Yeah, this is just not going to last.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like Breaking Bad, like how every season there's a new bad guy. Like every season of her reality show, there's gonna be a new husband.
Well, shouldn't they? I mean, to be fair, they have that whole thing. The conservatives are like gay marriage is ruining America, or like this ruins regular marriage.
Yeah.
You know what they should do? They vote in all gay marriage and eliminate if you're famous, you're not allowed to get married anymore.
Yeah, seriously.
That would cure divorce rates.
So their baby's name is North because Kanye's last name is West. So basically, they just want their kid to get wedgies.
No.
On the one hand,
I think-
my name is retarded. Edit it out for Randy. And on the other hand, I am ridiculously rich and I can pay people to give other kids wedgies. Yeah, that kind of rich. That kind of rich, that line is dying.
Yeah, that kid's totally gonna be normal.
Yeah, that kid's definitely not going to be a douche.
Well, he'll hang out with all the other dumb kids, like named Apple and like I don't know what the other kids. They all have dumb names.
Is there a kid named Tree?
Probably.
No, you know what the problem is? North is kind of a dumb name, but North's not a bad name if you have $100 million like Kanye's kid. North's a dumb name if you're living in the South Bronx and that's your name because your parents are a moron. And everyone's gonna copy their kid's name. They're gonna be North's. They're gonna be living in like Idaho. North's gonna be living in like California. North's gonna live in. There's gonna be like so many kids named North now.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You don't think people will copy them?
No.
I guarantee in the next 6 months, 100 kids are born named North. I'm not gonna ever check this out to find out if I'm right, but
What if your last name was Paul? And you were named.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
what if your last name was North?
North. The owner of Men's Warehouse, The founder of Men's Warehouse got
You
fired.
really are going with the really fascinating stories here.
I
Go
am.
on.
I am.
He was fired. The owner of Man's Warehouse was fired. Is that what your story?
right. How do you get fired by your own employees? I don't know enough about business, I guess.
So
Wait, what
when you
happened?
have shareholders, you don't own the company anymore yourself. And so he was voted in. He was outvoted by the board to be gone.
Oh.
He no longer owned the company.
He's the guy who was on those commercials.
Oh.
You're gonna love the way
Oh,
you
yeah,
look.
that guy.
Yeah,
He got
I
fired.
guarantee it.
Well, it was like Steve Jobs, who started Apple. He originally got fired by Apple, and then came back to the company later on because he didn't own the company
because
anymore.
they sell their interests. They keep a certain percentage, but not enough, so people can outvote them and fire them and stuff.
Yeah, basically, more or less.
His new thing is gonna be like, you're gonna love the way you look, but not the way I feel, because I feel terrible because I don't work for this company anymore. The next story is
He does is he just buys ad space right after their commercials, being like
you're gonna hate the way I feel because I'm depressed. I guarantee.
it's just
it.
him being like, I could have dressed you in a good suit, but I won't anymore. That's the whole commercial.
I got fired from this company, and all I got was this lousy suit. I mean, really good suit. Oh wait, no, I don't care.
Their suits aren't such a good value. I'm gonna go make juice in my juicer.
I sleep in this suit because it's all I got left.
You're gonna and like I hope he like gets to keep the slogan and goes to different products. You're gonna love the way you look in our juicer.
I'm gonna freak Mark out now.
Okay, what?
So apparently, a bunch of nannies started up a toddler fight club, and they forced all the little kids to battle each other.
That's
Oh my God, where was this?
Take a wild
Tell me Idaho, or Alabama. Where is it?
Delaware.
Okay, that
it's not as far as I would have thought.
So these were 3-year-olds, but they had rules. There was no biting allowed. So
they're fighting with their
But
rules?
they told the kids to fight, and they would just do it.
they forced them to fight. Yeah, they
How
said.
long was it going on? Read the article. Just read the article.
Let's see. The 3 Delaware daycare staffers were charged with engaging in a toddler fight club behind bars. Oh no, they are behind bars. They weren't fighting.
Hooked on phonics.
They encouraged several 3-year-old toddlers to fight in an organized manner, but biting was permitted. I can't read today. According to the audio heard on the Toddler Fight Club video. So apparently there is a video. I don't think I'm going to watch it. There was a quote, it was a difficult video to watch. One of the kids involved ran over to one of the adults for protection, but she turned him around back into the fight. The bottom line is kids were wailing
Jay,
on each
I
other.
have a question for you.
Yeah.
When did this story happen?
I actually bookmarked this for the next Brink episode, which was 9 months ago. This happened in
Because
August.
I
of
googled
last year.
this
Yeah.
just now as you're talking, and the articles are all from August 21st, 2012.
Yes, because our last episode
Jay,
was like August
with
9th.
up-to-date news for everyone.
I bookmarked a bunch of news stories thinking we weren't going to quit the show for 9 months.
Also, the U.S. just invaded Iraq.
You're just trying to change the subject because you're freaked out about
Bush's
this.
son
now.
was elected president. And Berlin Wall is down. Nice.
I don't like you.
They don't. I mean,
If it was like it happened like last week, I give it to you it was a month ago. But you picked a story that happened last summer.
Yeah, I did.
he's lazy.
Okay, here's a new story.
Random story. Here's my favorite stories in the last decade.
Here's a story from last week.
Paris Hilton was on a show where she had to like go to a farm.
All right, Mark.
I'm gonna play the goodbye song.
They have a video of the kids fighting.
Yeah, I know. I said that like 5 minutes ago. You were too busy making fun of me.
I was Googling making fun of you when
How does one make fun of Jay? What are we talking about?
I'm watching the kids fight.
Are you really watching the kids fight?
Here's the thing, and the kid slapping the other kid. My son will do this without being encouraged.
I just thought that was a little weird. I'm out of Captain Morgan.
Yeah, me too.
Do we?
Go hit him. And she's going to hit him. The other kid's crying.
Yeah, that's what I read. That's the exact thing I read.
That was like.
Well, I thought like both kids
seconds
at least
ago.
were participating in the fight. Why, if you're encouraging, why do people do things this dumb and then video it?
I know, and then like upload it somewhere.
I want to make sure the jury has no problem convicting me.
I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. Nobody will ever figure out
Yeah,
that
no one
YouTube's
watches.
a website.
Yeah, no one watches YouTube.
He's done. No more. It's bleeding.
It's bleeding. That's great. Okay, so I think
Dozens of kids have posted videos on YouTube of young kids fighting.
there's a whole bunch of it. That's great. I don't. Why would you even want to watch a 3-year-old fight? That can't be a good fight.
These kids are all wearing boxing gloves.
I just want to see them fling poop at each other. That would be funny.
Wait, they're wearing boxing gloves?
The best part of this story, actually, is there's a psychologist.
Oh, see, now you like the story.
The news
huh?
story had to bring on a psychologist to identify the fact that it's bad to have the kids fighting. He's like explaining, kids fighting, they're going to learn the violence
Well,
from this. and
3-year-olds
that's
could barely hurt
development.
each other anyway, and with boxing gloves, it would be really hard.
Oh wait, so kids are gonna learn violence from violence?
Hey, news story. We didn't need your expert to realize that the kids fighting were a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yep, forcing kids to fight against their will might have a negative effect. Thank you. How much was that? How much did that research cost?
Mark was just about to do that with his kid.
Now I can't have my kid enter a fight club. This is ridiculous.
What's parenthood come to these days?
I have famous people and their SAT scores.
I have a field guide to this season's 22 blockbusters. You want to see here what the blockbusters are and see if you want to see them?
Sure.
No.
Okay, it starts in May, but I'll read them all. Fast and Furious 6.
Absolutely
Ooh,
not.
No.
I think that's probably actually one of the better ones.
Well,
To be honest, I
is
bet
gonna
it's
be-
actually one of the more entertaining ones. Of
either
all.
this is a terrible list or we have very opposite taste in movies.
Okay, the next one. These are all the ones that are coming out, I guess. Now You See Me. This came out at the end of May.
Never heard of it.
This was about a bunch of magicians who rob a bank. So it was kind of like what's the one with Brad Pitt and George Clooney?
Ocean's 11?
Yeah, it's like Ocean's 11, but this time they're magicians.
Does it count as a blockbuster if I've never heard of it?
Then The Internship,
Nope.
which this is the one where
Vince-
Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn get an internship at Google.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the genius that decided that Owen Wilson's funny?
I don't think he's that bad, but I didn't even know this came out already.
That's out right now.
It's out. It came out 2 weeks ago. I actually saw the commercial with this, like, oh, it looks kind of funny. I didn't know it was out yet. It must be making like tons of money. According to Rotten Tomatoes, it got 34%.
Oh, good.
So I'm just not going to bother with that.
Yeah.
The next blockbuster, and these are all, I guess, maybe cost $100 million. The Man of Steel.
Nope.
Gotta agree that's a blockbuster.
It's a blockbuster. I have no desire to see it. Superman's a cheater.
Yeah, I don't.
He's a cheater?
He's a cheater.
I've never really been into Superman.
He's a cheater.
Why is he a cheater?
You can't have every superpower.
He's Superman. That's what his name is.
What's the fun of that? You have super strength, super speed, invulnerability, X-ray vision, heat vision. Like, pick a superpower. You can't have all of them. It's not fun.
Well, then there's Kryptonite. That's the one thing that beats him.
Yeah, and apparently everyone has kryptonite. Apparently,
Apparently,
you can just go-
Kryptonite is the most common element on Earth.
They sell it in Whole Foods.
Yeah, it's at Whole Foods. There's a whole aisle of kryptonite.
Yeah.
And the $9 version is the red kryptonite that makes him go crazy.
Do I want the generic Kryptonite, or do I want the Kryptonite with the happy little elves on it?
This one has loud packaging. So.
Ooh, the organic kryptonite.
Oh, honey, we buy generic Kryptonite. We can't afford the real good stuff, okay?
The free range kryptonite.
Next movie, Monsters University. If you liked 2001's Monsters, Inc., then you'll like the prequel.
The prequel.
Monster Universe.
It's a prequel.
It's a kids movie. Why do you have to get all technical? This is technically happened 3 years before the original events of this kids movie.
No kid that saw it in 2001 is old enough to see this version. Just pretend it's a new movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true.
if you were a kid in 2001, you're the 30 now, so you
Yeah,
probably...
if you, it was probably 2000. The Monsters Inc. was probably for 8-year-olds who it's 12 years later. They're 20 and not like, oh, remember when we saw when we were 8? Let's see the prequel.
Yeah. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I did when I saw the commercial for that? I said, oh yeah, Monsters Inc. was a movie.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that.
And I love the
forget,
fact
was
that
it
it
even
probably
good?
was
I
like,
don't remember.
It was good. It was good. I mean, I would see the other one. I would not go to the movies. That would be a rental for me.
was the first one good?
Yeah, the first one was good.
Okay, you're going to see the prequel?
I will, but like I said, I'm not going to the movies. That'll be like a rental.
Okay, so also, here's probably how it probably went down. The guy with in the pitch meeting, they were like, "Hey, we have this idea. We'll have a bunch of monsters go to university, and kids will like it." Yeah, I could see that, and we'll pretend it's a prequel to one of the movies we already made. Awesome, down.
They really love rehashing prior movies.
Dumb and Dumber 2 just got signed on.
What?
Yeah, Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, even Harlan Williams, the pee drinking policeman, is in it.
Oh, they're actually doing Dumb and not with not like the Dumber not Dumber whatever
No, this is the original.
Yeah, they had
cast.
one with fake actors, right?
Yeah, no, this is Dumb and Dumber 2 T.O.
Are they how old is Jim Carrey? Is he
50.
50?
He's 50 and Jeff Daniels is 58.
So basically, the best part of the big reveal at the end is that they actually he's mentally retarded,
They're playing
and
the same...
everyone feels really bad for laughing the entire time.
That was what's his name from White Man Can't Jump? What's his name?
Wesley Snipes,
No,
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. There was a movie where he played a vigilante, but he was a bad vigilante, and I thought it was gonna be like Kick-Ass. But halfway through the movie, you find out he is retarded, and it made the first half hour of the movie make me feel like a piece of shit for laughing hysterically during it.
What movie was this called?
I'll look it up. Keep going. I'll look it up.
So they're gonna be. I guess Dumb and Dumber wasn't on your list. Jay brought that up, right?
Yeah,
Jay
no,
brought that. I don't
they're
know what
playing the
it's like.
same characters. It's not like different characters.
I mean, they're like grandparents. Like, how can you be in Dumb and Dumber? It's stupid. All right, anyway, go
the
ahead.
next movie is called. And so now it's the movies that haven't been out. This comes out June 28th.
Sorry. The movie is called Defendor.
Oh, I heard of this. I actually thought that kind of looked funny.
The first half hour is funny, and then you find out he's retarded, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then the whole rest of the movie is like people feeling bad for him because he's retarded.
I actually from the commercials. I think it seemed like he was kind of slow.
Yeah, but I thought he was just like a stupid guy, not like literally retarded.
Yeah.
Actually, the picture on the front of the movie, he kind of looks like he's retarded. I mean, he does. I mean, just
No, I think from the commercial it was pretty obvious.
the movie about a retarded person, and Jay's like, nope, not getting it yet.
And Randy's gonna love this episode. We say retarded like so
He
many
doesn't
times.
look that retarded.
Let me
Well,
see
he's
where-
Woody. I mean, in that he just looks like Woody Harrelson, but in the commercials it looks like he is.
Okay, next movie.
all movies should have reveals at the end of the movie that make you feel terrible. Like at the end of the movie, like the end of the Silence of the Lambs, you find out the main guy Hannibal was sexually abused as a kid. Well, I kind of didn't like him because he was eating people, but then I felt bad at the end when I found out he was sexually abused.
Wait, he wasn't?
You know what movie? You guys see the Prometheus?
No, I want to see that.
Yeah, actually, that's on my list.
Oh, then forget it. Someone was telling me about it last night. I went to watch the Heat game at a bar with a friend, and he told me the Prometheus is it's really cool. They have a really cool twist at the end. And I was like, with Zach now, I barely watch movies. Just tell me what happens. And he told me at the end of the movie, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't watch it. But you guys can watch it. Do you want me to tell you now?
I heard it's like a prequel to Alien or something like that.
Can I ruin it for you or no?
Is it good or bad? Like, is the movie would you have watched it if you said no?
I probably would have watched it either way. That's the problem. That's probably it. He said it was a really good movie. He said he really liked
Well,
it. He
probably
had a
shouldn't
cool
tell
twist
us
at the
that.
end, and you found out.
All right,
it
just
was
go to the next movie. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear.
We're
your
not
shit.
going to ruin movies that have been out for 2 years for people.
For me, because I see movies like once every 3 years.
Okay, so this next movie with it's called The Heat. It's a female twist
Is
on
it
the
about
buddy.
basketball?
It's hang on. It's I'll read you the little caption.
Wait,
It's
you
a
think that
female
was-
twist on the buddy cop movie. A high-stakes, strong FBI agent named Sandra Bullock and a rash, ruthless
Next.
Boston policewoman, Melissa McCarthy, are forced to work together in an
Oh,
effort to
no.
bring down a drug lord. Melissa McCarthy is the fat woman,
Yeah.
the fat girl from
Mike and Molly.
Bridesmaids.
Oh my god.
So if you really loved her character and you love Sandra Bullock,
No.
you are like the worst. Like you have the worst taste in movies. basically.
You should just explode.
How is that a blockbuster?
How? I mean, I guess it has whatever. I don't know how to define.
I
blockbuster.
love this. Jay just pulled up the IMDb page. It's like the heat is coming. Like
It's come-
that's what the thing says.
Next week.
The next one, July 3rd. We're just gonna be. We're basically we're like the movie ads. Despicable Me 2.
Yes, the Despicable Me one was awesome.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Was it fun? I kind of wanted to see Despicable Me.
That was one of my
yeah.
favorite animated movies.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah.
Is that on TNT yet?
I don't know.
It could be.
I want to watch these movies, but I never get around to it.
Download
What's
it.
the last movie you guys seen in the theater?
Oh, I haven't seen one in a long
The
time.
last movie I've seen in the theater I'm not even joking. Was it Avatar?
I think for me it is actually Avatar.
Mine was Batman, which I thought was a while. I've seen one movie in the last 2 years.
Oh no, Avengers. I saw Avengers.
I think my
that
last
one
movie
I
was.
kind of want to see that when it comes out on TNT.
I've seen before Avengers it was the Muppet movie. So I go like every year and a half.
Oh, you know what? I saw the Muppet movie with you.
With me, yeah. So we
I started watching the Muppet movie, and they were singing, and I was like, I don't give a crap.
it gets good. It gets good.
Does it? I mean, I'll
Yeah.
watch it.
It was
myself
pretty
when
good,
it's
but
older.
I could have watched that on TV also, like on my home TV.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next movie, Despicable Me, I think actually looks kind of. If you said, based on the fact that Despicable Me 2 is coming out, I will try to watch Despicable Me 1.
The first one's
Yeah,
really good.
That was a really good movie.
It's the part 2 is not going to be as good anyhow, and I haven't seen the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Next movie, Dealing with Idiots. Curb Your Enthusiasm alum Jeff Garlin wrote, directed, and stars in this still mysterious, largely improvised film about a famous comedian who, in search of inspiration for his next movie script, embarks on a quest to get to know the parents of the players on his son's Little League baseball team.
How in the world is that a blockbuster?
I don't know.
It's not high budget. It's not even a really famous actor. There's nothing about that's a blockbuster.
I don't know if they.
Did they put
define here-
blockbuster
I want
in
to say they
quotes?
define what equals a blockbuster.
Yeah, I don't know.
They must put blockbuster in quotes because half of these movies.
Oh, you know what? Actually, it wasn't. Actually, it's not. These aren't blockbusters. It's just 22 films to see this summer.
You're an idiot.
You're the worst. Yeah, I was like, this list is getting out of control.
Yeah,
Let me see. Let me try to find some more blockbuster
your
lists.
bit
This is the worst.
sucks. Hey guys, you want me
You
to
want to hear
read?
the rest of the movies on this list?
Hey guys, you want me to pick a topic and then read a completely different list?
Here. Let me see if I can find this.
Why don't you just go through that list and only say the actual blockbusters?
Yeah, I guess I could do that too.
Wait. First of all, that list was movies you have to see this summer, and the Sandra Bullock cop comedy
Yeah.
was on it.
Even if it's not blockbusters, that's still.
You want to just finish this list?
Sure, let's go a little quicker.
Okay. Why this is taking forever?
Yeah, this is,
We're out of
we're,
rum.
we're on like the fourth movie. Well, actually, we're just out of rum.
Yeah, we're getting cranky.
Yeah. We need
Okay.
more rum.
We'll finish the list and you guys can get more rum.
Okay.
Girl Most Likely.
No.
Okay, this is
No.
terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. The Wolverine. Here's my question.
Is this the
Didn't
Marvel?
they already make a movie called Wolverine?
Yeah, now it's the Wolverine.
Really? That's just another one?
I am so done with movies not just if it's a sequel, put fucking 2 next to it.
What is it? This is why don't you just call it X-Men 8? That's what it is. It's X-Men 8.
Yeah, I like all these movies are like they even did that with Sherlock Holmes. It's like Sherlock Holmes, and then it's like Sherlock Holmes and the mystery of the blah blah blah, and you never know what order these
Yeah, the
movies
thing
are
is,
in
you
anymore.
get confused. Like, you can't even tell which movie you're, like.
Yeah,
you
it's like,
wanna
oh, I
rent it
want
or
to rent the
something.
second one. Well, I'll just pick a random name because we don't number movies anymore.
Would you be happy with Congress if it actually voted for this? Like Congress, this is the one thing Congress accomplishes during Obama's term
Well,
is to make sure every movie has it's like, oh, it's Superman Part 15. Yeah, they made a new Superman, but they had to call it Superman 15 thanks to the new law passed by Obama. Thank you, Obama.
You know,
I would totally be for that.
on the one hand, I want them to fix the economy, but on the other hand, I would totally be impressed if they did that.
Because we know the economy is not getting fixed, and this would be an easy rule to.
They're not going to fix anything. What if they just fix random things that make us laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wolverine, I could care less about Wolverine, by the way. Was the last one good?
It was mediocre.
Yeah, I didn't see
Okay.
it.
And they're making a new X-Men movie. And,
Another one?
Yeah, and
Isn't this the new X-Men movie? It's called Wolverine.
no, this one's just Wolverine sleeping with Japanese women. The X-Men movie, this is
That would
gonna,
be great if that was the title.
Wolverine sleeps with Japanese women.
This is just Wolverine sleeping with Japanese women.
I'd actually watch that.
All the movie is like Skinamax scenes with Wolverine.
That would be awesome.
And like Japanese women.
Well, in the comics, he's had like 5 Japanese girlfriends.
It's just extendedly brutal scenes of him like nailing these Japanese women.
It's literally like $100 million porno.
Oh God, what was the low point of the movie? He's something about how he's gonna come on her face, and I had to leave the theater. I was with my mom. It was terrible.
He's into S&M, but it like she has to get really brutal because he has the healing factor. The new X-Men movie, you're not going to believe this. They fight Magneto.
Wait,
As opposed to the first 5 X-Men movies where they fought Magneto.
I don't even know who the hell Magneto is.
aren't they friends with Magneto
Have you
now?
seen any X-Men movie? He's the guy they fight.
Oh, I saw one of them.
Well, then that's the same guy. They fought him in every single movie.
You know what I would do? I would have the characters of X-Men versus the characters in Heroes. I'd watch that movie.
Yeah. Heroes. I didn't like Heroes.
I never saw Heroes.
Oh, it was good. It was all these people had like these powers. It was
I
pretty
know,
cool.
I don't know
It was
why
pretty.
they
It was a pretty original idea.
Why didn't they just make an X-Men TV show instead of just like...
They're doing that. They're the Shield.
First of all, that's affiliated with Avengers.
What?
And they're kind of like an FBI organization. They're not superheroes.
What?
So, sorry
Hang
to,
on, no, I know. Hang on. There's some show. What's it called? The characters of the Shield. The Shield. What's it called?
Yeah, the Shield.
No, the Shield's that cop drama.
Not the bald fat guy who's a cop.
What's the name of the show?
Marvel's the Shield.
Oh, Marvel's the Shield. Why didn't Marvel come up with a new name? Not be like they had to add the word Marvel, so you knew it was a different show.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I thought they were bringing back the fat bald cop from 1992.
Well, that show got good ratings. People like that show.
Yeah, I know, but he's like 60 now.
So basically, it's like X-Men if they formed a cop organ. They formed the FBI.
Well, it would be like Professor X's CIA friend and their agency.
Are the characters in the show? What are they?
Did you see Avengers?
Yeah, no, I didn't see Avengers.
Oh, well, there's the Shield's in it, and there's a bunch of FBI agents that when things get really bad, they say, "Help me, Avengers." So the show is about the people who call the Avengers for help.
That's the worst idea.
That's the worst thing.
That's a terrible
I want a simple explanation.
Wait, okay. You know Nick Fury? He was in. Did you see Iron Man or?
I saw Iron Man.
You know Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson's character.
I didn't even know Samuel L. Jackson was in Iron Man.
After the credits, he's in.
He's at the
in
end of
every
like
single-
all those.
Anyway, he's the leader of Shield, but I don't think that he's in the actual show. I think it's his support.
Which
I'm
the
not even
one thing
joking.
Samuel L. Jackson's not in this year?
Yeah. It's his subordinates. The show is about them.
that sounds.
That show
awful.
sounds amazing.
This is an anti-plug. This is like the-
Elysium.
What
You
was
guys
that?
heard of Elysium? Matt Damon's in this
Matt Damon.
new movie about it's post-apocalyptic times.
Well, you butchered
in
that
which
word.
man, half a man lives on Earth, or the poor people live on Earth and have nothing, and then there's like this space station where all the rich people live.
So it's literally what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, but it's also literally like the same. Like this should be, I have to say, Elysium Part 12 because there's like 20 movies
there's
that
a lot
that
of
have the
post-
It
exact
looks
same-
nothing like the Tom Cruise or the Will Smith movie.
Yeah, that's a blockbuster, the Will Smith movie.
Just because it has Will Smith in it.
No, they spent like a ton of money. That looks like a really bad movie.
I heard it's really bad. I heard he broke his legs in the opening scene, and he's just like sitting in the ship, unable to move. the whole movie, and it's just his son running around.
Yeah, that's pretty much I think what happened.
Awesome.
Okay, you guys get your rum, then I want to tell a story when you guys get back.
Oh, story time. All right.
Story.
All right, we're back.
We are back.
Hey.
Although I edited out the break, so nobody knew we even left.
Oh, we're still here.
Okay, so I want to share a story with you guys.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to listen to your story.
And
So
by listen, I mean walk away.
it's a story of someone
By
saying
Candy Crush,
something
why are you talking?
that like so was just so shocking. The person said this that I was kind of just stunned that I heard someone say this, basically.
Okay.
And something that was like shockingly offensive, basically. So I was up a couple weeks ago. I was with my wife, and we were at her 10-year college reunion.
Was that awkward?
Why? Actually, we went to the same university. We were 2 years apart, so I knew some of the people there. Like I kind of knew.
Oh, so you weren't like, oh, I'm really glad to hear all these inside stories about people I never met, and
No, like actually, like half the people we hung out with were people she like would hang out with anyway. So like she like that live in New York. Hang on.
bless you. Is that your story?
Yeah.
Don't edit that out. Whatever you do.
You're possessed.
I had absolutely no intention of.
Well, anyway, basically there were a couple people. There were at least enough people there that we were hanging out with that like I already knew through her. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't so awkward hanging out with them at least.
Okay.
But yeah, whatever. I mean, it's. Have you been to any reunion for school?
No, we had one set up
For high school.
for high school. We had our 10-year reunion set up, and the girls set up, I think, open bar and a dinner in Manhattan for $75, and nobody wanted to go because that was way too expensive.
Yeah. Why don't they just say, hey, for the people that are not going to pay for this, we'll be at the bar next door.
I mean, you can't get a dinner in an open bar for any less than that. I thought that was a really good deal. Besides, it's like a once every 10 years. If you can't save up $75 in 10 years, then kill yourself.
And people
You
were
were
like,
annoyed people didn't go.
So few people said they were going, they canceled it.
Why don't you just say, hey, why don't we all just meet up at this bar?
Because we went to school with a
reunion.
bunch of dummies, and nobody could figure that out.
yeah, people were pissed because it was far, like an hour away, but it was like other people on the other parts of the country, like, it's close. Like, so it was
Well,
basically.
it's an hour away from people who never left our hometown ever. Like, sorry, you don't leave a 2-mile radius.
But once you're really all you care about at the reunion would just be you'd be like, all you need for your reunion is just the two of you and Randy and call it a reunion.
Pretty
Are
much.
there anyone else you're that dying to see?
There's like 2 other friends
Oh,
that I got in
I-
touch with that we actually do see now. So no.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, people who.
The five you can guys go to dinner and go, oh, here's a reunion.
yeah.
It cost us $75 because we ate at a decent restaurant and had some
We
drinks.
just realized why we didn't hang out with the people we didn't hang out with.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is why I hated all you people back then. You're still hateful people.
So we're at the reunion. I'm hanging out with one of her friend's husbands. I'd met him before, a nice guy, and I think we were walking, and he runs into his old fraternity brother, and the guy was like, I guess 3 years older than him in school, which actually was probably around my age, but
Don't care. Keep going.
don't care. He runs into his old fraternity brother. He hasn't seen in a long time, and this guy, he's like foreign. Maybe he's from Romania or something. I forget where he was from. But for some reason, because he's from like Romania or somewhere else, like I give him a benefit of the doubt and thinks he's saying a little more. I don't know. Anyhow, he starts telling the story, and part of the story, there's like 2 parts to it, and I'll tell the non-offensive part of it first. He tells some story. The guy starts asking him like my wife's friend's husband started asking the questions, and like he talked about like how he was going to start some kind of company in some kind of like a. I'm not doing a good job. Some kind of hotel property he was going to buy in Guatemala. And he talks about it for a little while later. And then like later on, he tells me, the friend's husband tells me the guy was buying property in Guatemala because he really believed what the Mayans were saying about the end of the world and had figured out where all the atomic bombs were going to go off. And he bought this property that was supposed to be really high up elevated because when all the atomic bombs go off, the world's going to be flooded and this property is going to become insanely valuable.
Wow.
So the guy was like, butt fuck crazy.
So
right?
he's never heard of nuclear winter. Because it doesn't matter
That's
how
the
high
problem-
up you
That's the
are.
problem with the story, believing the Mayans, the nuclear winter part of it.
Yeah.
So
He scientifically figured out that Guatemala will be fine from a nuclear holocaust.
yeah, it was something. It was either Guatemala or Nicaragua, I forget. And he tells some reason why he ended up not going down and making up some excuse. But yeah, so forgetting that part is that's a little background. The guy being a little bit crazy, but I didn't even know the part about that whole thing while he's talking. But somehow he mentioned some company he started. He had his own .com back in the day. And I'm curious, what was telling me about your .com? And he talks about how he had started some kind of internet company doing this, and this. And we were supposed to have funding. We actually were backed by the guy. The guy actually was president of Cantor Fitzgerald, a big financial firm who had backed us. And they were going to invest and everything's going to great. But it actually happened right before 9/11. And 9/11 happens. Cantor Fitzgerald was occupied by the towers, a big part of their company. And like half the company was wiped out, or I don't know, a big part of it was wiped out because of obviously 9/11 happens. The president of the company happens to not be there that day, and so but he sends him an email like a few weeks later, like saying just like too much going on. Sorry, I can't really deal with your company. Can't really invest in your company. And story's fine, totally nothing weird about that. Whatever, okay.
Yeah.
So then he's like, yeah, and then like a couple of years later, I ran into the guy at like some kind of function. I guess he knew him to do something or other. And he's like, hey, Joe Smith, whatever the guy's name is. Hey, Joe Smith. Hey, the one thing I got to know, I mean, don't get offended, but you were president of Cantor Fitzgerald. How were you not there that day? And the guy goes, yeah, funny you should ask. So my wife, she was at Temple that Saturday before, a couple days beforehand. And apparently the rabbi told everyone there, do not go to work on Tuesday.
What?
And he made a big deal about it. And so my wife, that day, she's like, you got to take our kid to school today. And he's like, why can't our nanny take her? The nanny's off. The nanny can't do it for this reason. And all these excuses. And they made sure I took our kid to school that day. And that's how I missed out on what happened. That's why I wasn't at work when 9/11 happened.
So he wasn't going to listen to the rabbi. It just happened that the nanny wasn't there.
Well, do you see? Well, but
No,
do you see like the problem with this?
Kind of convinced, like, the wife made him not go.
Here's the problem with the story. I'm listening to the story being like, so wait, are you saying the rabbis in the temple were telling all the Jews not to go to work because they knew 9/11 was going to happen? Are you saying about one of the more racist things I've ever heard someone say in my life?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, are you?
I don't
You're
think
just telling me. You're telling me you heard from this guy that the Jews knew about 9/11 ahead of
yeah,
time.
I don't think rabbis have that power, or like all of the Jews would have left Europe in like 1940 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I just-
Probably 1940 was kind of late.
yeah, or
but
whatever, 1938. Or whatever.
I was sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, did the rabbi really know about? Wait a second. Either this guy is the conspiracy nut, or I don't know. Like, I'm like, should I mention I'm Jewish and I'm really offended by this guy and I actually want to like fight him now? Or
What was
just,
the
like,
whole
what
thing
hell?
about his wife? Like he was going to ignore the rabbi?
Forgetting that, the guy just told a story where the point of the story was that the Jews knew about 9/11 ahead of time.
That is strange.
I was like, I don't think any of this actually happened. I don't think you had a company. I think you're making this
Yeah,
up
I
right
think he's
now
just making shit
because
up.
you don't like Jewish people.
Yeah.
Does he think it was that one magical rabbi, or that it was all rabbis knew this?
I don't know. He didn't say that. He didn't add. I guess I didn't ask. I was like, hey, do you think all the rabbis knew about it?
And I'm sure like some Jews died in 9/11, so like
I'm sure there's probably this rabbi who told the Jews that I think the president of Cantor Fitzgerald in part of the story didn't exist.
I just found out that I work in that third building that fell.
Really? You didn't know? You just found out like you didn't know on like day one of work?
No, I had no idea.
so you work in a pile of rubble.
Yeah, I work under bones and dust.
Okay.
No, they rebuilt the third building that fell. They rebuilt that one. And
You didn't see anything like, oh, it's cool. They have a new building around here. Wow, this area is is this area famous for anything?
I don't know the.
I think your
I
cat
don't.
just trashed
I don't
it.
know that area very well.
I got a job in this really tall building they built downtown. There were lights on it, and something about being a freedom tower. Anyhow, really, that was the 9/11.
Well, I'm on Greenwich Street, so like I called IT to get something fixed, and they're like, "Are you at 7 World Trade?" I'm like, "No, I'm on Greenwich Street," but I didn't know that was also 7 World Trade. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. No. I'm on Grand Street. No, it's 7 World Trade. No, I'm on Grand Street. And you're like, oh my God. And you stand up at your desk and just come screaming out the door.
I didn't know why. The guy was just like, okay. And like, I didn't know what the problem was. And then I realized it was, and then I looked out the window and the Freedom Tower was
On fire.
it was on the other side of the building that I work on. I didn't know the Freedom Tower was right there. Yeah, true story.
Jay's old job. One day he realized he was working in the torch for the Statue of Liberty.
Why do I have to keep taking a boat to work? I don't get it.
No, not the statue. I work at 7 Greenwich Street in the giant woman holding the torch.
I work on 1 Statue of Liberty Lane. Yeah, I work on the 14th floor though, so I think I could run down in time just in case.
Yeah, so I basically was saying there, the guy's like, so the Jews knew about 9/11. Okay, I'm gonna go get a beer. I'm gonna leave right now. And the other guy just says like, I'll get a beer with you. I'm like,
No, you won't.
okay, sure. And then he told me the Mayan story. I'm like, oh well, at least it wasn't like, oh, it was a good friend of mine. He was like, that dude's butt-fuck crazy. So okay, that makes me feel a little better.
That's a great first impression.
Yeah,
Drop those 2 bombs on you.
That was the awkward part of the reunion that I wanted to go home at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, Liz, can we just jump in the car now?
That like I feel like that's always happens. Like you're out somewhere and then like some guy just starts being ridiculous and you're like, all right, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I've had enough.
And
Yeah.
scene.
It's like you're like at some like store. You're at like you're hanging with a buddy of yours, and like he comes like he runs into some friend of his. You're like, oh, well, this guy, well, he's a friend of that guy. I'm sure he's a normal guy. In the middle of the story, he starts talking about how like gypsies run the country, run the economy, and you're like,
Yeah, it's like
kind of weird.
you're in that like in the beginning of the night. You're like, you can listen to a lot of different stories and you'll be fine. But there comes a point in the night where your patience goes down and the stories get more ridiculous, and you're like, all right, that's it.
His whole story about how we need to bring back slavery, to help the economy out. I don't know if the idea was taking the people without jobs and making them slaves. I don't know. I gotta rethink that. But I don't know. That was my story. That wasn't that was.
Yeah, that was good. I think we are out of time though.
Okay, cool.
So that was fun. It was fun talking non-basketball stuff for a day. Anyway, I would like to thank everybody for listening. We will not be 9 months between shows. We will do one again soon. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, it is at Nick of Sanity. That's Nick with a K, K-N-I-C-K of Sanity. I was originally going to combine the Twitters for Brink of Sanity and the New York Knicks podcast. Yeah. And then I decided that was too difficult, so I made 2 separate ones. And they both have the
Knicks name in them?
Well, because in that like one day where I switched the names over, somebody took Brink of Sanity from me. So
that's already gone?
Yeah, and the guy used Twitter once and hasn't logged on in 2.5 years, and he has the name forever apparently.
Why are you convincing that you'll trade him the entire all the profits you've earned from Brink of Sanity over the years?
I emailed him.
Then when he agrees, you send him a bill for $40.
Exactly. I emailed him, and he apparently not only does he not use Twitter, he doesn't use email either. So anyway, that's that.
Anyway, if you're listening and you're part of a terrorist network, what's the number to call in?
631-676-1181, and you could email us at thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com.
We will let you plug your terrorist plots on the show.
Also, sleepercell@gmail.com.
So thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back. I'm not going to say next week, but hopefully next week. But just in case it's not.
Now Jay's just telling lies.
Maybe.
We'll see you. Whatever is currently in the news, Jay will report it on the show 2 years from now in our next episode.
I'm cutting you off. The longer this goes, the more fun